There is a line in one of the oldest books on earth that, when you first read it, sounds almost cruel. Lao Tzu writes, "Heaven and earth are not kind. They treat all things as straw dogs." Straw dogs. In ancient China, these were figures woven from grass, honored on the altar during a ritual. And then, the moment the ceremony ended, they were thrown on the ground and burned. The universe, Lao Tzu is saying, treats you exactly like that. And here is the strange part. This is not the bleakest sentence in the Daodejing. It may be the most liberating one ever written. Today we are reading chapter 5 of the Daodejing, one of its shortest chapters, and one of its most misunderstood. In just a few lines, Lao Tzu makes 3 claims that cut directly against how most of us live. He says nature is impartial. He says emptiness is the source of everything. And he says that too many words will exhaust you. For 2,500 years, these lines were read as poetry, or as paradox. But over the last few decades, psychology has quietly begun to confirm them in clinical studies on acceptance, in the science of flow, and in the research on what silence does to the human mind. So let's take this chapter apart, one claim at a time. Start with that uncomfortable opening, "Heaven and earth are not kind." We tend to want the universe to be on our side. We want the rain to hold off for our wedding, the diagnosis to come back clean, the cosmos to notice that we, specifically, are trying our best. But the sun rises on the cruel and the kind alike. The rain falls on the field you planted and the field you neglected. Nature does not reward you for being good, and it does not punish you for being flawed. It simply lets everything follow its own nature. Now, listen to how a 20th century psychologist describes the ideal therapist. Carl Rogers called it unconditional positive regard. It is the deep, non-judgmental acceptance of a person, completely independent of what that person does, says, or achieves. Rogers found something remarkable: people do not grow when they are judged. They grow when they are accepted without conditions attached. A child praised only when they perform learns to perform. A child accepted as they are learns to become themselves. Do you see the connection? What Lao Tzu calls the indifference of heaven and earth is not coldness. It is the absence of conditions. The universe does not hold its acceptance hostage to your behavior. It does not love you more when you win, or less when you fail. It lets you be exactly as the wise person, Lao Tzu says, learns to let others be. The straw dog is not being insulted. The straw dog is being freed from the exhausting need to earn its place. Then Lao Tzu changes the image entirely. He says, the space between heaven and earth, is it not like a bellows? Empty, yet it never collapses. The more it moves, the more comes out. A bellows. The leather bag a blacksmith pumps to feed air into a fire. What makes it useful is not the leather. It is the emptiness inside. Fill it with anything solid, and it stops working. This is one of Lao Tzu's deepest moves. He keeps pointing to the empty part of things as the part that actually functions. The hollow of a cup. The doorway in a wall. The silence between 2 notes. And modern research keeps stumbling onto the same truth, only now we call it minimalism. Studies on cluttered environments have found that visual clutter raises cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone, and signals to the brain that the work is never finished. Clear space does the opposite. In reviews of dozens of studies, around 80% found a positive link between voluntary simplicity and psychological well-being. But the modern researchers add a warning that Lao Tzu would have nodded at. The goal, they say, is not emptiness for its own sake. It is intentionality. You are not trying to own nothing. You are clearing space so that what matters can finally breathe. An empty room is not a lack. It is a possibility. A quiet mind is not a void. It is a bellows ready to give air to the fire. And then comes the final line, the one that feels almost like a sigh: too many words exhaust. It is better to hold to the center. We live in the age of too many words. We narrate our own lives in real time. We explain ourselves, defend ourselves, perform ourselves, fill every silence the moment it appears. Psychologists studying speech have noticed something here too. Compulsive, pressured talking is often not communication at all, it is a way of managing anxiety, of discharging an internal tension we don't know how to sit with. The mouth runs because the mind cannot rest. And there is a quieter alternative, one the Taoists understood long before it had a name. Mihai Csikszentmihalyi called it flow, the state of complete absorption where the inner chatter falls silent and action becomes effortless. Researchers studying flow found a paradox that would have made Lao Tzu smile. The harder you strain to perform, the further flow retreats. It arrives only when you stop forcing, when you stop adding words, adding effort, adding self. The Taoists called this wu wei, effortless action. Acting in harmony with the moment, instead of fighting it. To hold to the center is to stop spending yourself on noise. It is to keep the bellows empty, so it still has air to give. So look at what this short, strange chapter has actually told us. It opened by stripping away our illusion that the universe owes us tenderness, and in doing so, it handed us the same acceptance that psychology says we need most, to be allowed to exist without conditions. It pointed at the empty bellows, and reminded us that the space we keep trying to fill in our homes, our calendars, our minds, is the very thing that makes us work. And it ended with a warning against our endless words, and an invitation toward the effortless silence where we are most alive. Impartial. Empty. Quiet. 3 things we are taught to fear, and 3 things that, looked at clearly, are the doorways to peace. The universe does not love you the way you wanted to be loved. It does something stranger, and far more generous. It lets you be, and leaves the space wide open for you to become. If this way of reading the Daodejing speaks to you, then stay on this path with me. This is chapter 5 of a journey through the entire Daodejing, one chapter at a time, where ancient wisdom meets modern psychology. If you don't want to lose the thread, subscribe, and the next chapter will find you. Leave a comment telling me one thing in your life you could leave empty on purpose, one space you could stop trying to fill. I read every one. And if a single line here stayed with you, share it with someone who needs more silence in their day. Until the next chapter, hold to the center.